So thumb brake is installed, but it's not, I think we called it 30% the other day. I think everything about my thumb brake's going to start making sense once I do some video on it. I think. Hell, I don't know. Damn thing's a mess. It's getting the brakes bled has been the problem up to this point. Well, there's been a lot of problems up to this point, but mostly waiting on parts. And then we got it installed. It installed relatively easily. Well, there's some customization. Like I had to remount the reservoir, or mount the reservoir. And it's kind of janky, but it works. I'm happy with it. But yeah, I was putting the bike together yesterday and thinking, wow, it's finally coming together. Finally coming together. And it feels like maybe since I've got about a month left, I've got 4 weeks left to get my shit together. So that means I've got to be able to get my bike straightened out so I can do cross country. I got to get my luggage straightened out so I can put all my crap in my luggage. I got some new luggage, new luggage, not the old luggage that was new. I got some new luggage that's new. I'll talk about that here shortly. Yeah, it all seems like it's coming down to the wire. I don't like things coming down to the wire. I would rather be sitting around figuring out where to go camping next, waiting on the date, instead of rush, try to get everything figured out. Try to get the bike sorted out, you know. It feels like I'm going next week at this point. That's how worried I am about getting all my gear together. And that's really most of what it is right now anyway. I've got a new socket for my leg. I got to get fitted for next week. Well, I've got to get cast for. So my leg has shrunk, just like everything else on me is shrinking. My leg is shrunk, so I got a floppy stump inside a socket, so I got to get another casting for that and get a new socket made. So the little hole that my leg goes into has got to be redone, which is typical. He said 6 months, and it's right at 6 months. And then I think I got a year on the next one, and then who the hell knows, man. I hope I get some mileage out of these guys. That may be my biggest concern, is how do I do out there in nature with my leg. I spent a few nights overnight in a hammock, and things went well, better than I expected. But also I could walk back in anytime. I had toilet, shower, running water. Not going to have all that out there in the wilderness, so a little bit of trepidation, one of my favorite words. Because I don't like saying fear. I don't like fear. I like anxious. Fear is it's more nervousness. Let me let this thing rip. Ripping. It's the thing I haven't done in quite some time. Woo! Feels good to rip. I'm not a big Interstate guy anymore. I mean, for obvious reasons, if you've seen any of my videos. But, you know, when it comes down to it, I think a lot of people hate interstates. They think they're dangerous. And statistically, I don't think they are for anywhere near as dangerous for miles traveled. I think service streets are number one. Number two is probably going to be twisty highways, or at least busy highways. Highways with a lot of intersections, it's got to be like number one. Intersections is going to be most of the carnage out there. So you think that's the one good thing that interstates do not have, is a whole lot of intersections. Their intersections are on-ramps. So we're doing 75 here. And I'm not sure. And this is probably what everybody thinks of as dangerous. These people zipping past them at 80, 90, 100 miles an hour when they're, it certainly feels uncomfortable when people are zipping by you. When you're going what you feel like is pretty fast and people are doing 20 or 30 over. But you don't see a whole lot of that maybe on 2-lane highways. People are trying to get from point A to point B on the interstate, and they feel like they can go much faster, and they do a lot of times. But I think that just makes people feel uncomfortable, more so than a real present danger. Even though there's lots of accidents on interstates, just like every other road, there's lots of accidents, and statistically, there should be much more accidents than you would see per mile traveled than you would see on a regular highway. But unless something's changed, I don't think that's the case. Really don't think that's the case. I think it's just like what I said. The highways that are very twisty and have lots of intersections. Like, you probably don't see a whole lot of accidents out in Utah and Arizona on the Lone Lonesome Highway, like Highway 50. Not a lot of turns. And if somebody runs off one of the turns, they miss a turn, one of those long, bendy, very long sweeping turns. If they run off the road, it's just flat desert out there. So even if somebody screws up out there, they're probably going to be okay. Unless they try to overcorrect and flip the car, get thrown out, something like that. So I think it's just like what I say. Tell me what I say. Tell me what I say now. So it's 72 miles an hour I'm at right now. Wow, this feels good. Although I'm a little bit nervous, and I don't know why. Could be that I'm got 20 pounds in that rear tire. I really like this system. I didn't think I was gonna like the air pressure thing, but I'm not real good at checking my damn pressures. I'm supposed to check it every time. T-clocks. T-clocks. Keep yourself alive. And maybe I just have a death wish. I don't know. Hey. Now this is a highway that should be really dangerous. There's lots of intersections. And people don't really go slow. So this would be my vote. The slower you like to ride, the more you're probably gonna like back roads, 2-lane highways. And when you got a bike like this, you can do either. Now that I got a big ass windshield, I can get on the interstate and do 85, 90. Not for long. I think 75 is probably about as, yeah, 75. I just got off the interstate. 75 was very comfortable. Yeah, but if you like slower pace riding in the country, as a lot of people do, including me, interstates just don't have an appeal for those people. But I tell you what is very appealing is getting somewhere, getting on a highway that's going to take you somewhere really fast. Especially if you got somewhere to go, and you don't want to putz around. Like, to me, the interstate is what you do when you have to go through a city, or you're going to save 4 hours going straight through the state as opposed to zigzag. And a lot of times that's, a lot of times I'm in more of a hurry than I want to be. Sometimes I'm running out of time. Sometimes I'm running out of money. And a lot of times I'm just running out of damn patience. I want to get there. And the only thing that I hate worse than traffic is red lights. Stop signs. Stop signs not so bad, but red lights, man, especially in the summer, and you're geared up, like you got an outfit like this on, and you're geared up, and the wind's busting through here just fine. I am fine and dandy today. But if I had to stop in traffic several times while getting across a small town, mid-sized town, any of those. So usually, even the mid-sized towns I try to avoid because they're just not fun. Small towns are fine. Small towns, sometimes they're so interesting that you don't want to miss them. Towns with less than 15,000 people in them. Those can be great.
So if you see me passing by, don't be shy. Wave hello, stop to say hi. I'm always down to chat, share the vibe. Moto Giants here, it's more than a ride.